This has been a long time coming, even more so than the Comic Coach kit video, which is also on the way. This is in fact a layout update. I'm not a huge fan of these sorts of videos, but I know a lot of people are, so I'm taking one for the team here. So what exactly has happened since last time? Well, not as much as you might have expected. First thing, which is probably the biggest thing, I replaced all of the track. Goodbye Pecco Code 75. Hello DCC Concepts Legacy track. It's bullhead rail and it has far superior sleeper spacing. I found that the difference between sort of Pecco Code 75 and Code 100 was so minimal it was hardly worth the effort and cost. But then I stumbled across this track on Hatton's for a great deal, so I went with that and sold all the Pecco stuff and haven't really looked back. Next, I found the idea of a flyover a la Coglow Junction just wasn't going to be possible with the space that I have. So I had to settle with something a little bit more standard, just your usual crossover junction. So what progress have I made elsewhere? Is the layout complete? No, not even close. The goods yard has more wagons than track. I have a handful of these points still to build for here, but they'll be done soon. Then all the wagons can actually put into rakes and then put on the track. The station area is also starting to take shape. The platforms are in place and are just waiting to be clad with the brick sheets. And then have my usual gravel put on top. Because it's easy and it actually looks pretty good. The station buildings are complete, just waiting to be glued down and have the lights connected to power. Then the fences will go up and all of the smaller details that I've hoarded over time can finally be installed. The station area already has what I think will become my favourite viewpoint of the entire layout, and that is through the booking hall of the station building. Lastly for now, the points and control panels are sort of getting there. I have everything ready to be put together and a code written for the Arduino. I just actually have to get round to put it all together and then power the servos that have started to turn up on the layout. So before I sign off for another few months, it shouldn't actually be that long, thought I'd show that I still do work on the layout and to give some sort of actual content for this video. I'm going to start the scenics here. I've slowly been plastering and painting the area for what seems like an eternity, but it's now ready for the next step. So first of all, I glued all these flexible stone wall sections from Jervis models in place. Now I thought I had enough of them, but inevitably I did not, so I have another pack on order. These sections do move around quite a lot as it's gluing, so I had to hold them in place with some leftover bits of MDF from when the layout was built. Whilst that glue was drying, I started creating some little footpaths, both to the style and also from the gap in the wall. This was just a standard Jarvis earth scatter glued by a small trail of PVA. Once that glue had dried, I had my first attempt with static grass, and it was not a good attempt. I hadn't had any fresh batteries, and the ones I had didn't really do the trick. So a quick trip to the shop, and we were cooking with gas, or rather Duracell. I used a blend of grass colours, and I feel like it looks pretty good. However, I must emphasise now, I don't really know too much about what I'm doing here. I'm just having a go and hoping that it'll work out. If you do want a proper tutorial on this sort of stuff, I couldn't recommend Luke Towan at Boulder Creek Railroad enough. His work is incredible, and that's where I get a lot of my ideas from. So once that glue is dry, I'll go back over it with a hoover and a sock to collect all the unglued fibres for reuse another time. I then use a little bit of flock to mimic bushes growing over the wall, and I installed one of my many hoarded trees. And I feel like it's really starting to come together. The tree really ties it in. But lastly for now, I turned my effort to these rocks. I painted them a little shade of grey and then gave them a quick black wash and then used some flock around them to blend them in with a couple of coloured wildflowers to really break up the green a little bit. And I think that's come together rather nicely as well. I'm getting very happy with how all this is coming together. And then that's it. That's your lot for this time. I'm slowly getting somewhere and I'm getting really happy with how it's going. It's getting towards a layout where the railway isn't actually the main focus, where there's plenty of other little scenes with not much to do with the railway, as ultimately the railways were built into the world rather than the world being built around the railways. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't focus solely on railway scenes. But yeah, thanks for sticking with my ramblings this far. Like and subscribe if you have, and I'll catch you in the next one, whenever that may be. Which shouldn't be too long, because I filmed them.